welcome back to the M2 podcast. This is the show where we cover gaming industry related news of the last week. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about how there is yet another live service game that is shutting down just weeks after launch. It seems to me that like MMO extraction shooters are basically like plummeting out of the sky. Crazy. We're going to talk a little bit about some throwback games. So Zelda, Twilight Princess, is making a native PC port, which is I'm excited for. It's going to be at 60 frames per second. It's probably going to look amazing. Then we're going to dive into a little bit about developers facing burnouts and basically what that means, what happens when that happens, when you get like an indie developer popping off with a brand new game, and then they're like grind, and just basically you lose devs because they burn out and they're like, no, I can't do this anymore. You got chill. And the last thing we're going to talk about is Raven Software. It's the big heavy hitter of this week. Raven Software, the freaking Call of Duty developer Raven Software, their co-founder is retiring after 36 years in the gaming industry. But before we begin, Kyle, how you been, dude? What have you been up to? What's going on?
I've been good, man. I've been chilling, you know. Work-wise, had an easy week last week. Had a very busy week this week, so just complete 180. But hey, we're still we're still hanging in there.
We out here.
So yeah, dealing with that. Gaming wise, played a couple things. Hopped on some Super Battle Golf once again. Played that with the boys. Apparently, there's a big update. I think it may be out by the time this podcast is out. But there's no wind in the game. It's a golf game without wind. They're actually adding wind in the next update, so you have to actually like aim with the wind now. I'm interested to see what that's gonna be like. But dude, it's a super fun game. Apparently there's also like leagues for it, whatnot. So I've heard it's the items in the game. You could actually use them. A lot of them can actually be used in creative ways you wouldn't think of. So it actually doesn't surprise me that there's like there's probably movement metas and whatnot with some of the stuff, but also just like kind of tactical ways to play the game.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We put a lot of hours into it. Me and the boys have been playing a lot of that. Also hopped on Phasmophobia for the first time in 4 years. I literally looked at my last played. It was 2022, like June, July.
That's wild.
It's crazy, man.
That's wild, because I thought you were playing way sooner than that.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah,
I swear, man, because I looked at it. I was like mind blown when I looked at the last played. Because in my mind, I'm like, I played that last year. Like, what do you mean? Like, I felt like I just played that like a few months ago. No,
I thought so too.
Yeah, no, 4 years
ago. You said?
4 years since I booted it. A lot has changed with the game, obviously. There's a lot more maps. Kind of the starting room is much different. Things you have to be much more tactical, I think, in some of the ghost hunting, especially with the higher difficulties. So
that makes sense, though.
They changed a lot. I mean, I think for the most part, it's like for the better, though. I think a lot of the changes make sense. And so yeah, it's a very successful game. I mean, it's crazy to think the game was out in 2020, I believe, when it dropped, and like it's a pandemic game, and now it's seen life 6 years nearly after launch, right? So
yeah,
you love to see that kind of stuff. And yeah, they're still updating the game, still adding new content, so I know it's ever growing. I haven't experienced all the new maps yet, so I'm sure we'll probably be out back on soon and just experiencing everything again.
Well, it's good that you return to an old classic that you used to play all the time.
Yeah, man, dude, it feels good.
4 years. That's
you're just as mind blown as I was, man. I was like, it just doesn't make sense. Here we are, man. It's before you know it, it's 4 years later. So
ripping me out, man. You shook me up and the podcast just started.
Yeah, dude, absolutely insane stuff. But yeah, dude, I mean, in terms of other games, I don't think I really played anything else. Outside of that, man, sports, like we're close to playoff season for a lot of stuff, so keeping an eye on regular season and all and whatnot. So it's been interesting to kind of see how that's been going, and playoffs right around the corner, and like Carolina teams, man, we're pretty much all in across the board and everything. So wild.
It's pretty exciting, to be honest. It's gonna be sick. I hope all the teams can make it deep into the playoffs coming up. That'd be just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Hornets, Hurricanes, Charlotte FC, and who am I missing? I guess the Panthers, but we'll see.
It's football, man. It's forever from now. I mean, like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude. But like, I watched the Hornets play the Celtics last night. Was watching that game. We did end up losing. It's just one of those things, like in those moments, you're like, obviously a top team in the conference, it's like, how do you think we're going to fare as we get into the playoffs? Like, because even if we were like go like 6th seed, it's like you're playing what, like 2nd seed or something like that. So like
Yeah,
you're probably
yeah.
playing the Celtics again, and they're just a good team. So it's I'm trying not to like think about it too much, because like obviously if we get to play-ins, I'll be like, all right, at least we should have like an interesting play-in. So and there's a chance we'll win. So I don't know. I'm not saying like Charlotte's going to be a one and done, but they're definitely going to have to turn up in playoffs to kind of prove they can be there. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
it's gonna get serious for sure, I think. They got the talent. I think they'll do well, but I don't. Yeah, if they're playing the Celtics first round, the playoffs are a whole different ballgame, man. You're gonna have like teams fully refreshed, ready to battle, and it's no joke. It's not like they're trying to be healthy for the remainder of the season. It's just a different ballgame entirely.
Yeah. But dude, I mean, you think about the Canes in hockey though, man. Like top of the conference, it's
Tell me about
looking good. We're looking
it.
possible home ice advantage, right, and throughout playoffs. So it's looking good, Mike. It's looking good.
Yep. It's looking really good. I'm here for it. Really, the fact that it's all coming together at just the right time, where you basically have the Canes are locked in. They're playing really well. They're really trying to like consolidate and really build the team out. The lineups are pretty strong as well. It's like I think Rod Brennamore might be able to get over the line. It just depends entirely on the goaltending at the end of the day. That's just what the playoffs are all about. You get the right goaltender, they
Yeah, man.
lock in, which we might have that opportunity. It's a good option.
Yeah. I don't know, a lot of riding on stuff. But yeah, dude, it's just exciting. It's exciting we're in April and like gonna be entering May, and we have potential to watch some playoff sports in general. So it's always good.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking good, man. It's looking up.
Let's get it, dude.
But this is not a sports podcast. This is not
No, it is
a
not.
work podcast. It's not a lifestyle podcast. Although I have been running, that's been fun. It's not about that.
It's been fun. It is a gaming podcast, though.
Sure is.
Let's dive into the first
Sure is.
article, bro.
Let's get into it. As I have a cat joining me. I have my
Excellent.
Mrs. Bigglesworth right here.
Is that his actual name, Bigglesworth?
No, it is a
Yes.
girl. That's not
Oh,
her name. Yet another
Mrs.
live
Bigglesworth.
Yet another live service game is shutting down just weeks after launch. They only have until May to try out this MMO extraction shooter. Darren Bonthius had a GameSpot report of this one. I was gonna say it's been a while since we did a GameSpot article. Don't think it has. Pretty sure we did one like a week or two ago. But
Yeah.
anyway, the live service game Graveyard has just gained another tenant as the developers of The Cube Save Us announced that the online extraction shooter will shut down next month, starting May 8th. Describing the end of the game service as heartbreaking, developer XL Games added in a blog post that full refunds will be issued for all items purchased via Steam. This news stings even more because The Cube Save Us has only been out for a few weeks. XL Games did not explain why the game is shutting down, but is likely due to low player numbers and poor reception. The Cube Save Us launched on March 18th for PC and peaked at 5,177 players on its first day. After that, the player count dropped quickly, averaging just a few hundred each day. Most reviews were negative, which likely hurt sales and kept potential players away. Live service games have had a tough time in recent years. Many big releases have failed to catch on and ended up shutting down. Conquered and Highguard are two examples, and Hawked, a shooter similar to Fortnite, will also close its servers later this year. Some of these games shut down just weeks after launch, while others lasted a few months. One main reason is that live service games often lose players quickly and cannot keep up the excitement from launch in a crowded market. Even big names in the genre are having problems. Epic Games recently said it was laying off staff and raising V-Buck prices because fewer people are playing Fortnite. Everyone's feeling the heat, Mike. I've talked about it before. Man. The live service genre in general, it's reached the oversaturation limit. And a lot of these are entering in and realizing that in order to make a successful live service game, you have to pull players from what they're already playing, because they're oftentimes playing live service games. That's a very tough ask, and something that often is just unrealistic for a lot of players. see it all the
Yeah,
time.
dude, I've been watching like a full length documentary of everything that Epic Games has been doing wrong with Fortnite and what they're losing to. And it's been like another live service free to play game for Roblox. And it's like now that it's like they're kind of it's oversaturated. There's only so many people within the gaming ecosystem, like as consumers, that base in this live service game, whatever it is, Fortnite, Roblox, or dude, I'm the same way. I'm pretty guilty of this. Old classic games. When I play them, I don't really venture out much. With how like the rest of my friends or the people that I game with are also on those old classic games. It's very difficult to get like a new basis of people to play with.
Yeah.
I think that might have something to do with it too, like the social impact of some of these games.
Yeah, man, I think it's just I don't know, it's a point that I've heard before. I think kind of the reiteration of trying to bring people from an old game. The most recent like time I heard it or example I heard it was Sean Layden, former kind of head of PlayStation. Back we're talking like PlayStation 3 days, kind of that era. He led the charge on a lot of like he was, I guess, the head of PlayStation, but he led the charge on a lot of like this single player glory days and golden age that was kind of 2020, like 2012 to what 2019. So all the single player stuff
Yeah.
came out. PlayStation was on top of that genre, and so he led a lot of that. But he was recently on a podcast and he talked about kind of the live service, the live service kind of era we're in right now, and that was his big thing. Like, look, if you're gonna make a live service game, you're gonna need a live service audience, and a live service audience is oftentimes playing games that they're already dedicating many hours to and a lot of money to. So it's gonna be really hard to pull them onto your game unless you have something that's truly extraordinary. And
Yeah.
most cases, it's just not the way it is. So, I think I'd like to think devs can hopefully start to realize that it's like it's getting to a point where it's like I don't know, you're like your idea is not special. Like, sure, it's like you can spend all this time on it, and I'm sure it's like a labor of love, but I mean, it's just like it's just so hard to crack that mold and kind of get into that genre, and make an impact. So, man, hopefully people can find other ways and kind of other games to make that they still are proud of that is outside of live service because, yeah, man, it's a difficult market.
Yeah, I don't think I could say it any better than you just said. It is entirely a different market. It's oversaturated, and I think it just has such a niche audience where if you don't basically capitalize on the existing market and steal from your competitors, then you're probably going to fail, which is kind of wild to say because there's so many new gamers out there constantly. I mean, extraction
Yeah,
shooters is such a like a different ball game. I feel like it's like
yeah,
not only are shooters a niche, but then you're gonna do an extraction shooter. That's a yeah, as well.
yeah. It's hard, man. Like, yeah, like extraction shooters, it's a difficult market right now too, with like arc raiders and marathons trying to get into there a little bit too. I think it's like you already have those two games, so it's kind of hard to break into it, especially at this point. So, I mean, like extraction shooters is such like very much like time sinks too. So takes a lot of time to build up a good inventory and have an account that's worth it. So yeah, it's a difficult
Yeah.
market, man. It's a difficult market. So who knows, man? Like, look, one thing that will never die, man. Good old single player. It makes some single player, make some
Facts.
co-op, like something like that, like co-op story. That can go well if you do it right. I don't know, man. Just
Yeah.
be creative in that way. I think that's like your best chance at trying to make something crazy. Or I mean, you don't even have to make something big either, right? Like, there's so many indie games now that are like very short but super well done, and it's like people oftentimes recommend them and come back to them, and so make something that's replayable, man. That works too.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
insane. I mean, we're talking about live service games and games that are new, but there's an old legend that's coming back, Mike.
Yeah. And you blew my brain because you hadn't played this game before, and then I started thinking about it. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess probably came out, if I had to guess, 2007? 2006, actually. I just Googled it.
2000,
So it was on the
2000.
freaking GameCube. I didn't play it on the GameCube. I played it on the Wii.
You're telling
That's how
me
old
it's
it was.
20 years old?
Yeah, 20-year-old game, man. It was actually so sick. I think it's one of the most underrated Legend of Zeldas for sure. But let's get into it. So Lewis Parker over here at Kotaku, which honestly, I think, come to think of it, when was the last time we even covered Kotaku? It's been
It's
ages.
been a while.
Yeah, so Lewis Parker over at Kotaku wrote this article. It's called "A Native PC Port of The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess Running at 60 FPS Looks Glorious." The Twilight Princess Courage Reborn, a 60 FPS port of the original GameCube release of Twilight Princess, looks borderline complete in its latest showcase video. Ooh. I need to see some video for sure. All right, so a native PC port of the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which has been dubbed Twilight Princess Courage Reborn by its development team, is closer than ever to becoming a reality, as the small team of volunteers working on the project has just revealed an extremely impressive 60 FPS showcase of its work in progress build. As spotted by PC Gamer, the majority of the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess decompilation was completed towards the tail end of 2025 and on December 30th, fan project lead Linfadomra, it's a username, uploaded the first showcase of the game's native PC port. Well, what a difference 4 months makes, because the build Twilight Princess Courage Reborn uploaded to Linfadomra's, what an awesome name that I can't pronounce, YouTube last night looks borderline complete, running at a stable native 60 FPS with fully implemented keyboard and mouse support. The original game, as well as the Wii U HD remastered, were locked at 30 FPS. Work on the native PC port isn't actually complete, however, as the creator explains in the video that they're still looking for more developers to help get the project over the finish line. That being said, they also note that it's completely crashless. That's a huge deal, in my opinion. And besides a few chunky cutscene glitches, I personally couldn't spot any huge bugs or issues in the footage. Isn't impossible to say exactly when it will be finished at this point in time, which makes it all more impressive that someone has already modded Hyrule Warriors Legends Linkle, a female variant of Linkley, probably, into the Twilight Princess Courage Reborn port. Just keep in mind that when it does release, you'll still need an ethically sourced ROM of the original Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess for the GameCube to actually run the native PC version of the game. Just like with the native PC port of Star Fox 64, these types of projects are generally considered to be outside the zone of Nintendo's legal threats for that exact reason. Twilight Princess Courage Reborn itself isn't supported to contain any of Nintendo's own proprietary assets upon release. We'll see if that actually stops Nintendo from issuing a challenge and if the mod project releases before the company brings Twilight Princess to Switch 2's GameCube library. Yeah, the problem with this is like there are multiple like GameCube, Wii launchers where you can play the old classic games, and people will actually go in there and re-render them, mod them, actually make them look like super solid and super clean, like what you're seeing on the screen right now for anybody that actually has the video going. It's like Twilight Princess was sick, very 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 fun, and it was one of the first games that I think I played on like the Wii. But the point I'm trying to make is like Nintendo could at any single point just go through and just decide they're gonna attack and sue the ever living crap out of whoever made this, or come after you for owning it. So you just got to be prepared to have like your own copy of the ROM.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's, they have to ethically say that you need to ethically find the the ethic.
You said ethically, they have to ethically do the ethic thing.
You have to say that right, but hey, man, I ain't gonna arrest you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody.
That's a fact.
Ain't nobody. I mean, I'm not gonna say nobody's gonna do that, but hey, we know how it works.
It's actually,
but I mean,
there's ways.
Yeah, there's ways. But like, I don't know, this looks good. I'm like watching the video. I almost thought it was like sped up for a second because it's just like I don't know if I'm just not used to 60 FPS Zelda or what, but it's just like it seems like pretty fast. No, video speed's normal, so I don't know. It seems the 60 FPS is kind of throwing me off, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah, it's probably throwing you off a little bit because they, to be honest, when you get like third-party monitors coming in to actually do stuff like this, or maybe you could let me here. I'll open up the YouTube version, see if it's actually bugged or not. But I see what you're saying. It looks sped up just randomly when he's walking around.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
we also look at Link's face. It's but yeah, dude. I realized there's fishing in this game. It's pretty sick.
you didn't? Yeah, yeah. They got just about everything. It's like the
I know
precursor,
that.
or was it? It might have been just after Wind Waker. I think Wind Waker was 2004. I think.
Yeah. Ocarina of Time, is that N64? Which console is that?
Yeah, Wind Waker's.
Because
Excuse me.
Wind Waker
Wind
was
Waker was
GameCube. I know that.
2002. Yeah, yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just slowed it down in the playback. I moved it down to point 5 and it looks way smoother, but at the same time it also looks like it's 30 FPS. So maybe they just sped it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe they just like took the processing, just like what you mean? That works. But yeah, did you get a bird? You get to control the bird. Bird gets stuff for you. It's pretty sick, man. It's not aware of your game. Twilight Princess. I just wasn't aware of it. All right, I see you. One of these days, man, I'm just gonna have to. It's like, all right, Zelda marathon.
Just go through all of them. Just keep playing
We
the
start
same
with the
thing
OG NES.
over and over. Could you
NES
imagine
of
that?
Zelda 1.
Yeah, NES. Is that the first one?
I think
Probably
so.
is. First one I ever played was actually on like GameCube. Or not GameCube, Game Boy. Like the OG Game Boy, Game Boy Advance.
Right.
Yeah, it was freaking, yeah.
Yeah, I
Throwback,
mean,
dude. I just dated myself.
I feel like I played the original NES game, right? And it's like, oh, you're just walking around on 2D planes. You walk to some dungeons, might kill some stuff, get some gems, get some rupees, and you just go
Facts.
out. And then eventually you fight Ganon, but who knows when that is?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty
Just
sure those
play.
games are like fairly long too, being like 8-bit
Oh,
games.
dude. Well, I don't remember. So here's the problem with them because they're on such an old console. I can't remember if the games were really long because I wasn't necessarily good at playing video games yet, or if the inputs were really difficult to play with. Because if you had like one single joystick, you're like having to retrace footsteps, you miss things, your FOV isn't the same. Or if the games are actually like a buttload of content and it takes forever to actually finish.
That's insane.
What are you looking at?
Original Legend of Zelda game on the NES. How long to beat has it at 8.5 hour average? That's pretty long. I feel like for an NES game. That's
That is pretty long.
wild. That's wild.
Let's look this up. In my opinion, I think the longest one to beat is going to be Ocarina of Time.
Let's
How
see if I can
long
get the
to
grid. Let's see
beat
if I can get the grid up.
every
Here we go. We have a grid.
Legend of Zelda game?
We have the grid on how long to beat. Breath of the Wild's at 50.5 average main story. That's just main story, not extras. Tears of the Kingdom 59, 10-hour little bump. Ocarina of Time at 27. Oh my god,
27 on the N64. That freaking tracks,
that's
bro.
insane. Yeah, dude.
It
Wow,
is one of the best games ever. Holy
dude, that like that kind of length on the N64 is just wild, man. Echoes of Wisdom, I think it was the newer one, right? 21 hours. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, 37-hour main story. 45 and a half if you do extras. Again, these are all averages.
Wind Waker is 29.
Yeah, Majora's
Beat
Mask,
that
21
game.
and a half.
I beat that game to 100% completionist. 59 and a half freaking hours of that game.
Dude, this is crazy. So,
Holy
A Link to the
bro,
Past.
that's
like
why I barely got into college. That game right there.
A Link to the Past. It's like the second game, I believe.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
15 hours. Just upgrade.
that's the first game I ever played. Or the first Zelda game I ever played was Link to the Past.
No,
Majora's
wait,
Mask,
Zelda
Nice.
2. Yeah, no, that was 10 hours. And then Link to the Past was. What console is this on? Nintendo EAD. That's the developer. Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo. Okay.
So I got the top ones. If you want me to just go down them, we
Yeah,
got 3D and 2D. 2D actually makes a lot of sense. This is top down. 2D and top-down Zelda games, which are supposed to be the shorter playtime. The longest one is A Link Between Worlds, which is 15 to 20 hours. I found that kind of interesting. Link's Awakening on the Switch and Game Boy is 12 to 15 hours for context. Link to the Past, is 15 to 20 hours as well. Yeah, but the longest one, Tears of the Kingdom, is 60 to 70 hours main story. Breath of the Wild is 50 to 60 hours. And yeah, I did Completionist on Breath of the Wild. It's 100 to 200 hours.
Yeah. Sounds accurate.
Yeah, Wind Waker's 30 to 35. I beat that. Twilight Princess, I beat that with my buddy. And Skyward Sword. Holy dude, we need a life. We need a life, bro. When we were kids, so like we went to Blockbuster and we rented the game Skyward Sword. It was just the two of us because I think he had a car at the time. Let me double check. Let's see their timelines. Skyward Sword. Yeah, this tracks 2011. So yeah, we both had cars, but I was visiting him in Pennsylvania. He went, dude. No, it wasn't Blockbuster. I think I'm mixing this up with Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess Blockbuster definitely existed. I think Blockbuster was gone in 2011, right? There's only one Blockbuster remaining. Whatever. I'm not going to look it all up.
Blockbuster.
But the point I'm trying to say is like we went and beat definitely Twilight Princess in like 2 days. We took turns. He did 12 hours. I did 12 hours, and we also cut a lot of corners, and we were playing like really quick.
Yeah.
We were pretty quick with the games. But Wind Waker, I took my time, and that took me months. Like I played for like 3 or 4 hours a night.
Oh.
Sheesh.
It's
The
crazy,
problem with
man.
Wind Waker is like you had to be a completionist. You had to, which is what I did. You had to go like discover where all the shards were and all the not buried treasure, but they were like treasure buried in the ocean that you had to go to, and you had to actually sail to it, and it took for freaking ages to get everything. It was cool though.
Yeah.
That's really interesting though. I think it's really cool that you get like these old classic games coming back that will be 60 FPS. A lot of people that have never played them playing like a 30 FPS game for the first time and you're used to 60 plus, it it will melt your freaking brain, dude. I go back like I play shooters like I'll play Call of Duty on my PC and like over 200 FPS. I'll get used to that and then I'll switch over and I'll pull out the freaking CRT which is right next to me.
Yeah.
Plug in the old Xbox and I'm sometimes struggling to get 30 FPS. I get a headache sometimes, dude. It's tough. That
Yeah.
change of like being used to what a game can do. Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
dude,
it's really cool to see like an old classic coming back.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's awesome to say. I think a 60 FPS thing is probably like, yeah, I mean, I think a lot more people would be willing to experience these games at 60 FPS. And I'm sure a lot of
Yes.
people
Yeah.
hear that and probably like, that sounds stupid, but like, I think it's just kind of the way, especially like newer generations probably are. It's like you see 30 FPS, it's like, I don't know. So
You gotta modernize the classics with I would rather take an old game, remaster it, make the graphics better, make the frame rate better, than have a developer come in, grab the old IP, and then make a bastardized version of the classic. I rather people just play the OG, but make it look better.
yeah.
I think the perfect example of this would be Halo Combat Evolved when they did Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, and you literally hit one button, all the graphics got better, and you're
Yeah.
at 60 FPS plus.
Yeah,
It
pretty
was,
sick.
dude, and you can change your FOV. Like, oh my gosh, it took forever for that game to work. Never mind that part. But when it did, it was like, why are you not playing that way? It's you still
Yeah.
get the OG feeling that that game used to give back in 2001.
Speaking of Halo, there was an article I linked in our doc, our weekly doc we
I
do.
saw it.
And
I ignored it.
So campaign evolved. Hey, you heard it here first, right? Campaign evolved. They're teasing a release date, July 23rd for early access, and then July 28th for the actual release. So the theory is that hey, they're gonna do some pre-order 5-day early access,
100%.
which would be funny. I'll say that.
They got so many versions of that game too. What are they at now? It's like you got the OG Halo CE, Halo C Game of the Year version. Then you got Halo Master Chief Collection, Halo CE Anniversary. Now you're gonna have a Halo Combat Evolved. So that's 5 versions of the first game.
Yeah, that's
That's
insane.
it'll be
Happy
cool.
birthday to me, right? Am I going to
That's
buy
a
the game?
fact.
Probably not. But happy
Nah,
birthday
probably.
to me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Halo
Nope.
Studios, formerly known as 343, formerly known as Bungie.
Bungie, yeah. I did see a couple of clips of Bungie, just like going side note here. Bungie was going viral again because in Halo games they were showcasing Marathon, which a lot of people don't understand that Marathon was an OG game by Bungie back in like the freaking
I was
90s.
gonna say, I think maybe people don't know that, right? It's like it's
No,
an old
they
game.
don't.
It's not
Yeah,
necessarily
but
new in that way, but yeah.
no, but they always do Easter eggs in their content, and I actually really, really appreciate that when they're like you get
Yeah.
an old studio like that. I think all the old classic Bungie heads that were from that era are all like gone,
Yeah.
but it was kind of cool to see people like it's going viral again. It's like, oh, even Bungie was what's it called? Teasing Marathon back in like 2012. It's like, yeah, dude, they've been teasing Marathon when they made the first Marathon.
It's
It's
probably it's
like,
probably been like we always want to go back to that, but it just never made
yeah,
sense.
100%. Yeah. Anyhow, but how you feeling about it? You want to go back and play Twilight Princess, dude?
I don't know, man. I mean, I can't go back to a game I've never played before, so it'd be a fresh
That's a
experience for me.
fact.
You know?
You ready to go back in time and play a game that I grew up with,
Yeah,
and
I'll
then you
probably
get
feel
to
like
relate
I'm
to
going
me?
back in
And
time.
yeah, you might as well just call me Unk. I
uh,
will say it was really cool. That one was probably like a top five Zelda game. It was really good, man.
yeah. But you rate it well, man. I think eventually someday I'll get to it. But if it makes you feel any better, to a lot of people, we'd both be Unk. So Ashley's younger
We both
Gen
be like,
Ashley's younger Gen Z, man. Unk. Calling me Unk out here. It's crazy. One thing that is not Unk, is not reaching Uncle status, is a little game called Peak, which I'm sure you've seen. It's been all over the place around social media the past few months. It's a really well done game. It's one of those like kind of I don't want to call it friend slop. I mean, I feel like friend slop could be kind of derogatory, but I don't know. It's a good game, and it's one of those things you get a bunch of friends, you try and climb and stuff, and it's just very derpy and will fall, and people made some really good content out of it. Well, we have a feature article here from GameSpot, Aaron Garst, and Aaron article essentially just talking about peak success and how the development team, the devs, face burnout and big decisions after the success and how they're kind of managing that as a team. It's a little bit of a lengthy one. It's not crazy, but we'll try and get through it. I think it's some interesting stuff. Laid waste throughout this article. So let's get into it. Change often leaves indie developers balancing their own creative plans with what players expect after a hit. Success, especially sudden success, can reshape a studio's future overnight. Players now expect ongoing updates, long-term support, and clear roadmaps. And that's the thing about these live service games in particular. They're very dependent on that like ongoing success. So it's like there's a lot that's probably made up front to be like, all right, we have the core game, but we need to make sure we have active updates shortly after the game's release, assuming we do see success. So it's probably factored into why a lot of these shut down. It's like, oh, we don't see initial success. Well, we're already going to be burning way too much money. So,
or they just like, yeah, they fire you ASAP. They're like, oh, this wasn't an immediate success. Well, we're not going to waste our time. See ya.
yeah,
And just cut the chase and fire everybody.
it's true, man. But even at the highest level, that model is difficult to sustain. Recent layoffs at Epic Games, the company behind Fortnite, highlighted how demanding live support can be and has become. The tension between long-term vision and player demand is becoming harder to manage. Indie teams face similar pressure without the same resources. AgroCrab, the studio behind Peak, and what is one such team. However, the studio's legacy didn't start with a live service title. Instead, it began with a comedic yet brutal soul-like Another Crab's Treasure, which I actually know that game. I see that game all the time. Like the game card, I think was on Game Pass. It's a Game Pass game. I mean, I see it everywhere. I saw some of the original footage that was shown at one of the showcases. So, I mean, what do you think? A Souls-like and you're a crab, you're fighting? That's like,
I saw that too. That was so sick.
The title was a commercial and critical success, elevating the studio to new heights. But after finishing Another Crab's Treasure back in 2024, Aggro Crab's small team was exhausted. The 3-year project left everyone drained. Quote, "We were left with a lot of burnout, myself especially, because I probably crunched the hardest," the studio head Nick Kamen said to the GDC when he was at GDC in San Francisco, "because I was so attached to it." What came next was a shift in approach. While Another Crab's Treasure sold well enough to fund another project, the team did not want to commit to another 3-year development cycle. Instead, Aggro Crab opted for something lighter and faster. The studio met up with another studio, Landfall, to co-create a game during a month-long game jam in South Korea. I kind of want to go to a game jam. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
What a game
What
jam
is
is that,
that?
man?
Yeah. Let's go jam on some games. It's like a rock jam.
You know, you're just like jamming for music and then you write stuff. Kind of like that, but games. According to Aggro Crab, the studio came into a game jam with an idea about scouts getting lost on a remote island. After 3 days in South Korea and ideating in the months leading up to the trip, the game jam produced the core of Peak, a stamina bar that would be the player's main obstacle in climbing a mountain. At that point, they already had many of the status effects, like frost and poison, that would be a part of the stamina bar. By day 7, we had a working prototype, Kamen said. This was way too buggy to launch with, but look, we are climbing the mountain. We were understanding what the game was, and we were really excited about it. Aggro Crab took the core of the game they made in South Korea and refined it over the following months, taking significantly less time than their previous game. The success was immediate and overwhelming, but Kamen attributed part of it to how they created the game. "You get more shots at success for cheaper," he said. "You're forced to constrain scope, and when you do constrain scope, you end up coming up with ideas that you wouldn't have otherwise." Peak was developed as a response to Burnout. But what happens when overnight success upends every plan a developer may have had? Titles like Kinetic Games' Phasmophobia broke through Twitch, drawing hundreds of thousands of players seemingly overnight. And yet, an intense interest and demand that such games expand with more content and updates might not align with how their developers foresee the project's future. As a solo developer at the time, seeing so many people connect with something I built was incredibly humbling and exciting. The CEO and Phasmophobia game director Daniel Knight told GameSpot, "There was definitely concern. Expectations changed overnight, and I became very aware that players now saw Phasmophobia as something much bigger than what it started as. The worry wasn't about the game's success, but about making sure we could grow responsibly without losing the core experience that made people fall in love with it in the first place." That's gonna be a crazy balancing act, right? Like I think you get that level of success so quick, and then all of a sudden, all these questions and all these scenarios pop in your head. I feel like
Yeah.
it's gotta be a lot to manage.
It's kind of like what's it called? Imposter syndrome. When you finally get
Yeah.
successful as an indie dev, and they're just like, "What? Is it okay? Is it gonna be good? Like, what's gonna happen?" And
Am I
everything
supposed to
like,
be here?
like what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, it is kind of wild. It's like you got to keep the player base happy, and if you lose them, you're gonna start taking it personal. It's wild. I wouldn't want to experience that.
Yeah, sure, it's not fun. The early days of Phasmophobia were reactive. Roadmaps were flexible as a small team adapted to working with a massive player base. Kinetic Games as a guiding principle became preserving what had made the game successful. New maps like the Asylum and Point Hope Lighthouse were added, but the core gameplay of investigating and identifying ghosts remained unchanged. "Our focus has always been on making meaningful additions that fit naturally within the game," said Director of Partnerships and Marketing, Asim Tanver. "If we explore optional content in the future, the intent is to do so in a way that respects players, preserves fairness, and stays true to the spirit of the game rather than shifting toward a traditional live service model." Over the years, Kinetic Games expanded content through seasonal events, sometimes reusing similar events year after year, that added new cosmetics, progression systems, most notably in the Apocalypse update, and reworks of existing maps alongside entirely new locations. Despite this, some players wondered why they weren't seeing more content in the form of additional maps, ghost, or gameplay mechanics. Kinetic Games emphasized that it never wanted to alter the core gameplay into something else, such as fighting the ghost directly, nor did they ever describe Phasmophobia as a live service. For us, live service is less about whether a game receives updates and more about the philosophy behind how those updates are delivered. Live service often implies a model where content progression and player engagement are tightly structured around ongoing monetization or fixed engagement loops. The team deliberately avoided putting pressure on players or themselves to monetize or release content on a rigid schedule. That lack of financial and temporal pressure allowed Kinetic Games to slow down and adjust timelines as needed. Neither the development team nor the players wanted any sort of pressure, monetary or temporal, to keep up. It goes both ways. I never thought about it like that, but it's I think it's interesting to kind of not go down that traditional live service model and just start charging the player base with a bunch of stuff. Because I think to kind of their point, like they'll certainly turn off players if all of a sudden like everything is like some of the extra content, it's like you got to pay for it, and yeah, you probably lose momentum. So the fact that they didn't do that is definitely a win. Most of the plans that we had changed completely after we launched. Ghost Ship Game CEO Soren Lundgaard told GameSpot, "I think that's something other teams tend to do wrong, where they do too much planning on the next updates after an early access launch, and they get frustrated that it does not align with what the players want. So most of our plans changed after the launch." Deep Rock Galactic, which saw a major success after launch, but not nearly as overwhelming as that of Peak or Phasmophobia, couldn't have handled success any larger than what it saw. The amount of incoming messages from players and trying to respond to them in a timely manner and so on would become quite difficult, Lundgaard said. "We were too few people. Ghost Ship Games had plans for new biomes, weapons, and other content for after release, but had to scrap or delay most pre-launch plans to focus on system designs that would keep their growing player base engaged. Its Left 4 Dead-like systems weren't enough to retain players and encourage them to invite their friends, so the team had to create new ways to keep players they had hooked coming back. Updates needed to come at a breakneck pace."
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's one of those things like you get there, right? And it's like you have all these ideas, and then like the iteration comes in when you realize like, oh wait, there's some systems that probably need extra work, or there's things that the player base doesn't like, so we got to make sure we make them happy,
Yeah, it's like you gotta grind it out to maintain the player base. And Left 4 Dead, the craziest thing is like Left 4 Dead was kind of a fad for like maybe a couple of years when the first game came out, and then it re-released as Back for Blood, and people were really excited about it. But at the same time, it was just not panning out. It wasn't working anymore. People just got kind of bored with it, moved on very quickly. So yeah, I mean, just because you have updates doesn't mean people want to stick around. I feel like the gaming base is kind of a little fickle when it comes to updates, but
yeah,
it's just my 2 cents.
I would agree. Yeah, I was struggling to change my headset battery right there, so that's interesting. Anyways, let's continue, shall we? "The cadence basically started at an extremely fast pace," Lundgaard said. "We did weekly updates, but it has slowed down over the years. Then we went to 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and so on. The largest gaps were 6 months between the seasons. Sometimes moving on is the best option when a studio no longer feels invested in their breakout hit. For Peak, Aggro Crab confirmed earlier this year that the Friendslop Mountain Climber will receive one more major update in 26 before the studio moves on to primarily focus on upcoming games. There will be one final peak to climb before the sunset falls on the mountain." Just like Phasmophobia, Aggro Crab never intended for Peak to be a live service title. No microtransactions or daily challenges to push players to invest time and money into the game were included or planned. The choice was similar to Ghost Ship Games, which actually passed part of the responsibility of development of Deep Rock Galactic to another studio, Funday Games, so that the team could focus on taking risks by using the Deep Rock Galactic IP to develop new projects like the Vampire Survivors-inspired Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Breakout hits test more than a game. They test the people behind it. Peak, Phasmophobia, and Deep Rock Galactic each forced their teams to confront a sudden flood of players, unexpected demands, and the limits of small team development. Overnight success can rewrite priorities, scrap pre-launch plans, and stretch resources in ways no studio can fully anticipate. For indie developers, the challenge isn't just creating something players love, it's managing what comes after. Decisions about updates, scope, and pacing ripple across teams, communities, and future projects. The lessons from these studios show that the climb to the top can teach more than the view from it ever will. The climb to the top can teach more than the view from it ever will. That is a bar.
Bars.
Thank you, Aaron, for the bar. That was a bar. I don't know. I thought this was really insightful. Just kind of see from like kind of the indie dev kind of space when you have this success and how like no path is linear. Like everyone's gonna be different. Everyone's gonna handle stuff differently. It's about what's best for your team and your studio. But it's also saying like, hey man, it's nice to have success, but just understand kind of the road afterwards is gonna be not something you drew up. It's gonna just it becomes the land of iteration and adapting to that. So
Yeah,
interesting one.
It was honestly like pretty insightful. I agree with you. Aron Garst. I might follow him on Twitter.
Yeah,
It's pretty sick.
This guy's a goat, man. Yeah, that's good journalism right there. Just going to GDC, talking to a bunch of devs. Cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's freaking genius. It's a good
See, it'd
idea.
be like, that'd be
Pick their
something
mind.
like, obviously, like, we're not like authors or anything. Dude, could you imagine, like, podcast is to the point where I would, like, go to GDC, interview these devs, man? That'd be kind of sick. It's it's a cool position to be in, I'd imagine. Should we
His
talk about
tweets are protected. Sorry, yeah. My
and
man's over here with 20,000 freaking posts. He probably stopped. Who knows?
probably got
But
harassed.
that's cool. Maybe.
Internet, man, the internet. Listen,
The internet.
we talk about kind of new life, what could be from these games and these developers. I was gonna say we're talking about end of life of one developer, but it's not. He's not dead. It's
No. He's just retiring.
just retired. Happy retirement.
Yeah, so this one's kind of interesting. Yeah, so this is Raven Software co-founder Brian Raffel retires. It is coming from GameIndustry.biz by Sophie McAvoy. Covered multiple times. She is a heck of a writer. Definitely check her out. But anyways, let's get into it. Brian Raffel, co-founder of Call of Duty developer Raven Software, has retired after 36 years in the gaming industry. Raffel and his brother, Steve, founded the Wisconsin-based studio in 1990. He served as vice president from the start and became studio head in 1997. In 2024, he became co-studio head with Dave Pellis. Following Raven Software's acquisition by Activision in 97, Raffel was appointed vice president at the publisher. According to his LinkedIn, he wrote, "It's hard to put into words what this journey has meant to me. From those early days building Raven to becoming the first studio acquired by Activision, I'm grateful for the people, the culture, and the games we created together. Most of all, I wanted to thank my brother Steve. Taking this path together and choosing Activision was one of the best decisions of our lives. Thank you to everyone who was part of this ride. It's been unforgettable." Raven Software has also released a statement recognizing Raffel's leadership, which has guided our studio through a wild and shifting industry, shaping it into what it is today. Ooh, this dude, I love Raven Software. The logos live with me, and they're about to list like 6 games that I used to play all the time. So his work spans titles like Hexen, Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, one of my favorite games of all time, X-Men Legends, Wolfenstein, and many more, each contributing to a legacy of iconic experiences. Those first decades of achievements earned Raven a place among the greats and the trust to shape and evolve Call of Duty over the years. His commitment to building games out of Madison, Wisconsin has grown his home city into a strong hub for game developers and studios. Under his wing, Raven's doors have remained open to the next generation developers, offering a first-hand glimpse into what is possible. As a proud alumnus, his connection to the University of Wisconsin has benefited students pursuing careers in art, design, and technology. Through it all, Brian has remained loyal, humble, and true to himself. It concluded. Brian, thank you for the stories, for the path you carved, and for the lives you've changed along the way. The impact you have had is timeless, and we wish you all the best in the next chapter. Last August, workers at Ravensoft ratified their first union contract with Microsoft after 3 years of negotiations. Ooh. So, a QA tester at Ravensoft and the bargaining committee member of that particular union, Autumn Prazuch, said, "We fought hard for raises and job structures that will finally make QA a sustainable career path, and we were able to negotiate limitations on mandatory crunch. Ratifying this contract is a win for game workers everywhere who are ready to take the first step toward a better future." Very interesting little tidbit at the end that they wanted to basically include about Raven Software. The one I find most interesting is just the fact that my man's retiring. Good old boomer created something great, maximized on the economy, probably made billions because when you get acquired by Activision, they go public, you get shares, and my man is rich as fuck, and
Yeah,
he
he
is
is.
retiring.
Man's
He's doing
cooking.
well, bro.
Man's cooking for sure.
He's doing
So,
well. Let's
or he
see
has
what the
cooked.
YouTube say. Let's see his net worth, bro. Let's see his net worth. What does he
I
got?
know
What does
it.
he got?
Man's frying, bro. He's frying them Benjamins.
Uh, the company was independent until '97 when it was acquired by Activision for $12 million.
That's it. That's
Sheesh. It just
$97.
depends entirely on like basically what he did with his money when he got acquired. So it's like he doesn't need to work anymore. Why would you?
Don't
I
need
mean,
to.
my man, they didn't even say what age he was. 36 years in the industry. He's got to be pushing close to 60,
City, close
maybe
city,
older.
60.
Close city.
Yeah, man. It's yeah, man. I don't know. Yeah, good for him. I think the whole thing of like trying to working with like university to try and like get students in, or like try to get people into the industry. I think is kind of cool. Like trying to open the doors and be like, hey, like we're willing to bring in young people and have them learn. So, um,
Oh yeah,
I
dude.
mean, always hats off to anyone in businesses that are willing to do that. I mean, especially these days, man. Like, it's just hard to find entry level stuff. That's all I hear about. So,
Oh, bro. Yeah.
it's just not fun. So, I
Entry level is brutal. I got a guy right now trying to get in my industry right now, and he has no experience whatsoever, and he's trying to do entry level, and I'm like, dude, I need to train you. That's the problem. I don't have time to train. I'm already overworked.
no,
So yeah, it's tough. And I can only imagine what it's like in the gaming industry because things change so rapidly.
yeah,
You got to like what you learn in college, from what I understand with computer programmers, is by the time they graduate, whatever language they were learning in school is already outdated. So they're basically clueless from the get go.
yeah, yeah, dude. It's career learning. Doesn't end in
Mm-hmm.
college, right? Like a lot of the
Nope.
base concepts you'll get, but like you still got to learn new languages. So yeah, I mean, it's a crazy industry. But I think like the tech industry in general, man, like we saw it with Epic. Like I mean, there's especially in this industry, man, like there's so many layoffs. Like so many industries of tech that are laying off too, and like AI certainly has an influence on that. Um, I think
Oh yeah.
it's just one of those things, man. It's at a huge kind of downturn right now. So we'll see if it picks back up. We'll see if it's just like a ebb that turns into a flow. But yeah, right now it's just hard, especially for for entry level, man. It's like I see tweets and all the time stuff too. People like memeing on. It's like, hey, if you're born in 2003, dude, like you just hit all the wrong spots. It's like you
It's
graduated
a
college and now
fact.
it's like, all right, well, good luck trying to get a job.
Yeah, dude. It's
It's not
yeah.
fun.
It's ain't much else to say about it. It's tough.
Yeah, it's like I think it
Yeah.
was when I was like born in 2003. Parents lost their house in 2008, and like you go to high school, graduate in 2020 over Zoom, and then you get into school, you get into college, you graduate college. All of a sudden, the market is the worst. Then it's like
Yeah.
it's just man, it's just endless pain, dude. Hopefully it'll
Yeah.
work out, man. Hopefully people start getting jobs, man, because there's a lot of capable people out there, and a lot of people that it's like you just give them a chance, they'll run with it. So hopefully
Oh
people
yeah.
can hopefully people can get there, man. But
Oh, be fun, bro.
people like Brian Raffel at Raven Software apparently paved the way for some of that in the games industry. So that's kind of cool. I've been seeing QAs too. I mean, we've seen it before, like QAs definitely unionizing because like QAs didn't really get paid anything. There was no rights. It's like it was kind of bad.
Yeah,
So
it's absolutely brutal for them. But at the same time, it's like they've been pushing off the QA QC onto a lot of the consumer base. They'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, come check out our like alpha or beta for free," and everybody's just like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll play." Also go to the forum and like submit tickets and like tell us what's wrong with it. It's just like, dude, that's QA/QC.
Yeah, it's like,
Like we're
am
beta
I getting paid for
testers
this?
now.
Like,
Like,
this is-
what are we doing here? What
yeah,
are we doing?
what we do? Yeah, no, it's yeah, no, they pawn it off, and it's like you don't realize until it's too late. It's like, wait, I'm doing stuff I should get
Wait a
paid
second.
for.
Yeah, it's like you're kind of working for free. But then like, oh, I just wanted to play the game before anybody else. I wanted to stream and make content of it. It's like, well, what if the game's not playable, bro?
Yeah.
You ain't
Well,
making
see,
content.
I mean, see, that's the thing, right? It's like a lot of these people just love the opportunity, right? So like, oh, the opportunity's good enough for me, and it's like, you know, and there's like so many aspects where like, you should get paid to do this, but hey, you get an opportunity to play a game you love for free, and you get to play it early, like you're gonna jump on it. So
Jump on it, bro.
it's a weird,
What are we doing?
it's weird times, man. Weird times, but yeah,
Sick.
congrats to Brian, man, living it up, helping people out, getting that Activision money.
Hell yeah. It's a good little selection that we got going on though for the articles. It looked pretty solid. I'm very excited about it. So,
Yeah, man, feeling
yes,
good.
sir.
Feeling good.
Feeling good.
Bro, we're at quadruple
Like
digits.
I should.
We're at quadruple digits in time right now, Mike. It's a late one.
Yeah, we are. Let's let the people go, dude.
Let's
Let's let them get out of here. Shall we?
Go.
Get out of here. No, do you have anything else to add? I got a couple of things I got to personally finish outside of the pod, but that's all I got going on. You got anything to add? Then we'll see you next week.
Nah, man, I don't think I got anything to add, man. Just play some games.
Yeah,
If
thanks.
you're into sports, watching sports. Maybe go outside a little bit. You don't want to go outside a lot, but like, you know, just a little bit.
We're getting
you know?
close. We're getting close to like go outside. The weather's awesome.
Yeah.
Go spend the day outside and then come in,
Yep.
start playing games. This is the way.
Exactly,
This is the only way.
It's the only way.
The only way, bro. All right, next time I'll come back with a haircut. Get wild, bro.
Oh.
All right. I'm getting way too long. All right, let's let the people go. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in for the M2 podcast. I'm your host, Michael Hanty. That's Kyle Heath. If you want to check out any of the articles, links are in the description below. If you want to check out the videos, obviously, we're on Spotify, any of the other platforms like YouTube that actually play video. Definitely check us out, see what's going on there. And most importantly, definitely check out the links in the description. We have tiny URLs for all the articles that we covered. You can go give love and appreciation to the actual writers. We're just React content at the end of the day. So definitely show some love to them. They did the work, and we appreciate them. Without further ado, we're going to let you guys go. We'll see you next week. This has been the M2 Podcast. Michael Henty, Kyle, send them out. We'll see you guys later. Keep on gaming. Peace out, homies.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.